The door beeps. Jordan walks in. A year ago, he fumbled for his keys. Today, the badges glide and the light turns green. No drama, just smooth, just modern. A camera blinks. Wi-Fi welcomes his phone. His watch hums that he slept 6 hours and change. Now, none of this feels like a plot twist. It feels like Tuesday. But every little help leaves a little trace. Every trace adds up to a quiet story about his day. Who is writing that story? Jordan? His company? Or a vendor that he's never met? Now, I'm not here to scold or tell anyone what to say at work. I'm a tech optimist who likes things that open fast and keep people safe. I also like to know what those wins cost. 5 years ago, a fingerprint scanner felt like the future. Now the future is the hallway, the desk, the ear. Badges do more than open a door. They build a timeline of arrivals and exits and zones. Cameras do more than record. They can turn a face into a math pattern that a system recognizes at speed. Wi-Fi does more than connect. It maps where people gather and which routes move. Keyboards do more than type. They carry a typing rhythm that can look like a focus signal. Wearables do more than count steps. They mirror heart rate changes and stress cues and micro recovery. Wellness apps do more than cheer you on. They summarize rest and mood and habits that belong to a body. Each piece on its own is helpful. Together, they kind of sketch a biography. When Jordan arrives, when he seems focused, when he seems tired, where he lingers, who he works near, and how often he takes a break. Now, that biography might not live where you expect. Sometimes it sits with a vendor. Sometimes it lives in a data lake no one talks about because it just works. Sometimes it is anonymous until a switch flips and it isn't. I'm not pointing fingers. I like working places that run on green light and good coffee. I just want to keep a hand on the wheel while we enjoy the ride. Here's the tension. Tools that protect people and save time can also slide from helper to judge. Not out of malice, out of drift. In one warehouse, smart belts reduced injuries. That would be a huge win. Later, a fatigue score quietly influenced who got the lighter shift. In one office, keyboard rhythm was a gentle hint. Higher scores got praise. Lower scores got coaching. The score was meant to track trends, not label people. But labels sneak in when dashboards grow teeth. A safety system drew zones where forklifts and humans should not collide. Later, someone asked whether those zone breaches could be tied to individual reviews. Different team, same data, new gravity. Metrics shape behavior. Always. Give people a leaderboard and they will race it. Give people a wellness ring and they will walk laps at 9:58 p.m. to close it. Even if what they really needed was just water and sleep. Now, Jordan is not a villain or a hero. He is all of us, trying to be good inside a scoreboard that we all barely see. He smiles through stress because the dashboard likes smooth lines. He postpones the hard talk because his wrist spikes when he gets anxious. He keeps moving because green looks better than red. That's not connection, that's choreography. And choreography gets heavy when it replaces trust. Now, any metric that defines good soon defines normal. So it matters what we call good. It matters who gets to say that. It matters how easy it is to change our minds. Now, I'm not here to hand you a script for your boss. I'm not going to tell you what to demand or what to sign. I'm here to put words to a feeling a lot of people have, but rarely say out loud. The feeling that modern offices are invisible cities. That feeling that the city runs on kindness and code. That feeling that code is fast and kindness takes a moment. Now, there is a version of this future that I love. Passkeys instead of passwords, doors that open for people who need hands-free, safety zones that nudge us back before anything bad happens, wearables that we opt into on days when we want a little help, logging in without friction, leaving without fear. There is also a version of the future that I do not want. One where the most human parts of work hide behind numbers, where a laugh gets quieter because a mic is always on, where a tired face becomes a risk flag, where a rough week becomes a permanent score. The difference is not the sensor, it's the story we let it tell. I try to keep my questions simple and human. What is this tool trying to help with? What does it never need to know about me to do the job well? If it makes a mistake, how do we fix the story it tells? If my best day and my worst day look the same on a chart, what is the chart missing? Those are not instructions for a meeting. Those are quiet checks I make with myself so I do not drift into a world that feels efficient and empty. Now, Jordan does a similar thing. He loves smooth days. He loves getting home on time. He also loves not feeling like a report. He keeps his watch for the morning run. He turns off a few share toggles that make him uneasy. He keeps the safety alerts that clearly help. He keeps the door beep because nobody wants to go back to keys. He says yes to the tools that make human days safer. He says not now to the ones that make human days smaller. No speeches, no drama, just a small choice that makes tomorrow feel like tomorrow instead of like a spreadsheet. Now, if you've ever worn one of these guys, a smartwatch, that congratulated you for standing up, you already know the strange mix of helpful and a little judged. If you have ever felt more seen by a metric than by a person, you kinda already know why this matters. I think most of us want the same thing. Safer work, faster mornings, less password pain, more clear heads, and honestly, a workplace that still sounds like people. The tech is not the enemy. It is a mirror, and it reflects what we value. If we value presence, we will make room for it. If we value kindness, we will notice it. If we value only what graphs easily, we will lose the things we forgot how to name. Now tell me, what would you keep private even if a dashboard could make use of it? What would you gladly share because it truly helps people? And what is the human thing at your job that no score could capture, but everyone would miss if you were gone? I ask myself those questions because they keep me balanced. They remind me that data is a tool and it's not a verdict. They remind me that stories need authors and not just systems. Now Jordan's leaving at 6. Same door, same beep, different posture. He knows the tools on his wrist and the sensors in the hall are not out to get him. They're also not saints. They are tools that reflect choices. He wants better choices. So do I. Probably so do you. Tomorrow the tools will get better. Cameras will understand safety zones faster. Passkeys will replace more passwords. Wearables will be less obvious and more useful. Opt-in screens might become clearer. Some vendors will earn trust and others won't. We will keep living in invisible cities, which means we will keep needing visible values. Honestly, I like the simple ones. Tell me why a thing exists. Tell me what it forgets by default. Tell me what it never needs to know about my body or my face to help me work well. Tell me how to turn it off without losing my job or my dignity. Tell me how to fix a bad day that got turned into a bad label. That is not a memo, that is hope. It is a hope that the places we work will choose clarity over cleverness, that we can still laugh easily, that we will still help each other without a metric telling us it counts. The best version of this future is not anti-tech, it's pro-human. It uses sensors to protect people. It uses automation to remove the grind. It uses data to see patterns while remembering that people are not actually the patterns themselves. If this made you think, you're not alone. If it made you feel less weird about loving both convenience and privacy, you're my people. If it made you look at the green ring on your wrist and say, I'll close you after dinner, welcome to the club. I don't have all the answers. I do have a steady question. What kind of story do we want our tools to tell us about us? I want a story where safety is real, time is respected, and dignity is the default. A story where a door opens because it should, and a person is seen because they matter. A story where data helps without deciding who we are. Now Jordan heads home, the sun's low. He thinks about dinner and a friend he wants to check on. He thinks about how good it felt that the day ran smooth. He's not thinking about the dashboards. He's thinking about people. That is the picture I want to keep. The smooth and the human. The fast and the kind. Tech that helps. Stories we still own. If you've lived a version of this, I'd love to hear it. Not to win a debate, just so we can actually learn from each other. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. And if you haven't seen this video right here, go ahead and check it out. Is your smart home watching you, or is it not?